balancing act. Balancing act. This day and age, the struggle can be to keep your sanity and your spirituality. A lot of things go on in our lives as a whole, but also individually we have various struggles. Struggles, whether it's how do I balance homework and how do I balance time with my friends and how do I balance having just the ability to do well. How do I balance work and family and social time and time with my parents, time with my siblings, time for myself, time with my God, time to serve in the church. How do I balance? How do I balance the things that are pulling on me? I want to be able to have some recreational fun, but I need some money for that. I want to have a light bill, the lights over my head on. I need some money for that. I like eating, and that costs money. Need some money for emergencies. Need some money for 401k, stock market going down. God says he'll supply my needs, but maybe my money is running low. How do I balance all that? Money doing good, and now all my family know my phone number. How do I balance that? How do I balance this walk? Body is sick. I want to praise God, but I'm in pain. I want to praise God, but I buried a loved one, and I'm wondering about the love of God because it just wasn't right. Children dying before their parents. It just doesn't seem right. Leaving way too soon. Some even think it's a game now to commit murder and stand before judges and crack jokes. Don't even understand their life is fading away. It's a strange world we live in. As a matter of fact, if trials and tribulations were party members, we could throw a great big party of all of our trials and tribulations. How do I balance everything that I'm dealing with? Paul said in the same struggle. How do I balance the trials of life without losing my mind? Paul said that there are things that happen to him. As a matter of fact, he's writing to the church at Corinth, of course, and he's telling them that everybody has some ups and some downs. As a matter of fact, Paul is really saying that the main core of this text is Paul is saying, I'm tired of you listening to false prophets and that are leading you astray. I talked about at 8:15 that they were dealing with an abusive relationship. This is what Paul said in the New Living Translation. He said they take everything you have, they control you, they take advantage of you, they slap you around, and you act like you like it. That's not only spiritually, but that's also physically. And Paul said when there's a better alternative right there. Most of all, when you think about the love of Christ, you don't have to dwell in an abusive relationship. And he's saying everything that they say about them, I'm really more than they are. They try to brag about how Hebrew they are. Paul said, I'm a Hebrew. As a matter of fact, he said, I'm a Hebrew of the Hebrews, of the tribe of Benjamin, taught by Gamaliel, the famous Jewish professor, spoke 5 languages. Oh, if they say that they are Israelites, so am I. Everything that they said they've been through, really, I've really been through it. They try to down, Paul said they try to down my authenticity. He said, but now I've been through some stuff. And Paul reminds us, and I look at this text and I thought about the fact that how do you maintain, as I said earlier, your sanity and your spiritual walk. Look at the text, and Paul said there's some things that will help us to understand how to balance this thing called life itself. First thing Paul said, we got to remember that God made some promises. The key is understanding of all the stuff that you've been through God's grace, through God's power, through God's mercy. You survived it. You made it through it. You are still alive. And maybe you have to pray sometime, and it may not look like it to some folk, but you still got your sanity. In other words, one thing you got to remember as I realize I can balance this thing, that if God brought me this far, the same God that brought me this far, he's going to lead me on. So when there's pain in my body, he's going to lead me on. When my heart is heavy, he's going to lead me on. When mother closes her eyes and father's gone to glory, God will lead me on. So when I look at the mirror, I got to remind myself that whatever the devil threw my way, I survived it. Abuse, I survived it. Lied on, I survived it. Folk walked away, I survived it. Friends act funny, I survived it. Money got funny, change got strained, but I survived it. Had to take care of mom and daddy, but I survived it. Somebody walked off and left you. Somebody betrayed you. But when you look in the mirror, you can say, thank God I survived it. The devil is a lie. If I made it this far, by God's grace, if grace brought me this far, then grace will lead me on. Can you take 5 seconds and praise God for grace? His amazing grace shall always be my song of praise. For it was grace that brought my liberty. I don't know why. He loves me so, but he looked beyond all of my faults, and he saw my needs. Amazing grace. How sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Is there anybody here that thank God for grace? So you survived.